if you want.
All right,
Yeah,
guys.
we're
Today we're
going.
going to be talking about Elden Ring, Shadow of the
Nope.
Erdtree.
Nope.
Yes,
We are not.
sir. Yes,
No, we are
sir.
not.
Brandon was playing it. He was playing it the other night. So I think it's a fair topic. He could be writing a book about it for all we know.
All right, fine. Luke wanted to do this as a cold open before we announce
That's
the
not
start of
true.
the
I didn't say
episode.
that.
And then how about this? You know what? How about this? This is going to be the cold open. Comment down below if you want me to play Elden Ring and
Yes.
film it.
I better see 1 million comments.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Or like one of our podcasts, do you want it to be filmed like this? We are trying to do this in person. I guess this is like the worst cold open in history
Yeah, it is.
because we're taking so long. Uh,
Some of the Chuckle Sandwich cold opens are pretty long.
well, because the thing is, we usually do a cold open and then I put the intro in.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Comment if you want Cullen to play Elden Ring. He will play Elden Ring if we get 2 comments
we
saying
get 2 comments
he should
saying that,
play Elden Ring.
yeah, and I mean, I'm sure we could do something where it's like, comment if you want one of the next um podcasts to be we talk about the book I just read while playing Elden Ring.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, that would be so funny.
So it's episode 3.
Yes, we are
Um
talking about Tress of the Emerald Sea,
we are talking
not
about Tress.
Elden Ring,
No, we are not.
unfortunately.
We are actually talking about Tress, and we're going to talk a little bit about Six of Dusk and Shadows of Silence in the Forest of Hell.
Look how pretty this book is.
I know. These are cool.
These are cool books.
I need to buy the Sunlit Man one and the Yumi one.
These are pretty books.
I need to buy them.
Okay, I need to put this somewhere.
So, where do you want to start with Tress? There's not really point of views. Oh, I guess we should
let's
start with our non-spoiler.
Non-spoiler review. What did you think of Tress of the Emerald Sea?
I think, and obviously we're behind a little bit on recording podcasts. This is still probably one of my favorites, I think, that I've read, personally. It's very funny. I remember as a kid not really liking pirate stuff as much. And now I'm like so into pirates, because if you know me, I'm a little One Piece
For
boy.
anyone who doesn't know, if Cullen turns his camera slightly, you'll see an entire section of his wall dedicated to One Piece.
The whole One Piece wall out of focus. Right
And
there.
the one
There's
little
Mistborn.
Naruto section.
There's JJK. There's One Piece figures up there. So, but I've gained a little bit more. I do like a good old pirate thing, So Tress was a nice mix because I would say that Princess Bride's probably one of my favorite movies.
Oh, Princess Bride is such a good movie.
It's at least in the top 20. It's got to be.
Yeah. Of all time. Like it is just like a classic good fairy tale.
Because it's goofy.
Movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got the goofiness, it's got the charm, it's got serious moments to it as well. It's got stakes, I think.
It does have stakes.
A lot of goofy things don't have real stakes,
I would agree. Yeah.
But like to really make like a good fairy tale, like movie or story or whatever, I think you have to have genuine stakes. Like you can be goofy and people still threat of dying.
Yeah.
No, it's a good movie, and this book
is inspired off of it.
Yeah.
Because what? Because Brandon said that he watched it, like, I think it was during COVID. Mm-hmm. He watched it with the family.
Yes.
And it was.
He asked his wife what she thought, and she was like, "It was good, but Buttercup
Doesn't do
didn't
really
really get to
anything.
do a lot in the movie,
Right.
which is true.
It is true.
Buttercup does not get to do anything in that movie really,
Correct.
um,
Yeah.
which is the big flaw I think of the film. But Brandon kind of took that and then wrote this book as a gift to his wife.
Yeah.
Um, so he kind of
And then
made
fit it into
Buttercup,
Cosmere.
yeah, Buttercup like the star of the book in a way, right? So Tress is the Buttercup of this story,
Yeah.
except she's not the one that gets, lost or kidnapped or whatever. It's the boy, her little
Yes.
boyfriend. And I think what's most unique about this book, without spoiling anything,
Hmm.
is that he doesn't just turn Tress into a classic hero character,
No.
right? Like he
No.
imagine if Buttercup went to save uh her boyfriend, right? What is his name in that movie? I don't even know.
Oh my God. What is his name?
I don't even know.
It's Wesley. Yeah.
Wesley. That sounds
Right.
right. We'll go with that.
Judge us in the
Why not?
comments below.
Yeah. If Buttercup went to save Wesley, right? But she wasn't like trained or, didn't have any special like
It's as if
fighting
Buttercup went
talents.
because
Yeah.
she
It's like
doesn't
if
have any
Buttercup
fighting
the
talents.
princess, right, went to
Yeah.
save Wesley,
Right.
right? So she has no, you know, none of the crazy skills or anything he has, but
No.
she's got the determination to save him, right? And that's kind of
Right.
Tress. So
Yeah.
Tress starts as this girl who loves to collect cups, and as she goes through the book, her character evolves, and yeah, it's
Right.
very cool, very cool book.
So yeah, I think overall, I think it's like it's definitely one of it's simple, and I think it's a good. It's still one of my favorites. I think that I've read out of the
Hmm.
ones that I've read so far.
Yeah, it's
Um,
just fun. It's a fun
I think
book.
it's a cute one. Yeah. I don't know. Well, so I guess so. Do we want to go into spoiler territory now?
Yeah, we can move into spoilers for anyone listening. We're talking
Yes. So
spoilers now.
we're moving into spoilers now.
We're not good at
So
non-spoiler sections.
I I know because there's just so many
We're
things.
not good at
I
it.
know. It's like we should even just take it out. Sometimes you wonder because I even put spoilers in the title,
Yeah, that's true.
but whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, we
Oh
put
well.
it in for the people.
This title can
Um,
just be Elden Ring DLC.
sure. Yeah. Okay. Um, so I would say this one's the least Cosmere heavy. Like you can read this
of
without reading any other Cosmere stuff.
Oh, absolutely. You could absolutely
But
just read this book. Like this
I
could
will
be your
say this:
introduction to the Cosmere, and it would be perfect.
I actually disagree, and it's because and it's crazy because there's only one line in it that makes me feel no.
Hmm.
Um, and I mean, I guess it might be just because I'm reading into it too much, right? Because Brandon, I know, constantly says that this could be like your first Cosmere book.
Yeah.
Um, but there's a line referencing Sazed in
Yeah.
it, and I do worry that that kind of like gives a little bit away.
I think if you're a first-time reader, you're not going to latch onto that. Like I feel like that would be something
Probably,
that could slip your mind pretty easily,
yeah.
right? And I think that yeah, they do mention Sazed by name and not Harmony,
I guess it's a
right?
one-off name. Like it's a
Right.
one-off
It's a
line.
one-off name. Yeah, it's a one-off line. Like if they had mentioned Harmony, then there would really be no trouble at all because Sazed doesn't become Harmony until the well, really you don't even hear that Sazed is Harmony until Era 2. But
Right. Wow.
yeah, like I feel like for a lot of
Spoiled
first-time
me.
readers, like oh no, I feel like for a lot of first-time readers, like they're just gonna read that and be like, okay,
Yeah, I
like
guess you got a point.
it's not even gonna be a second thought.
Yeah,
But
that's
I
true.
for definitely for some people, like some people would catch that and then be like, oh shit, I guess
What's that
Sazed's
name?
sticking around. Yeah.
Right. But so I think my personal favorite part about this is we get some more Hoyd
Oh yes,
since he
Hoyd
is
is the
the
narrator
narrator of the
of this
book.
book. Oh
Um,
my god.
I love Hoyd a lot. I think I was worried he would be like that typical snarky
Hmm.
character, but he still feels like pretty unique, I think, and
Oh,
genuine.
definitely. Yeah. Because I think
Um,
he has a lot of humility.
yeah,
Like he doesn't view himself as perfect or
no,
better than other people. Maybe better than some people, but not better than
probably,
everyone,
yeah,
which is like what typical snarky characters kind of feel like, right?
yeah.
But Hoyd is a very humble, not very humble, but he can be. Like he's
I
been
don't think. I guess you know what?
in situations where he's like, yeah, I spent a year inside the stomach of this giant monster one time, and he'll like say random shit like that. You're
Right,
just like, oh man, this guy's kind of weird.
but I guess what's you know what? It's actually good that you have the Deadpool poster in the background.
Oh yeah,
A lot of these characters that are that snarky, they're self-deprecating,
yeah,
and he's not.
hmm yeah. No,
He
he's
doesn't
not
feel like it.
self-deprecating. Yeah,
He's still like he gives himself like a little bit of shit here and there,
yeah,
right? But it's like it's not in a like kind of like I feel bad about it. It's more like a remember that time that I got stuck in
yeah.
that sea beast kind of thing. And I
No.
think it's a nice change of pace
hmm
because you don't feel bad for him. And I think it
hmm
makes whatever his quest is, because we still don't really know, or at least I don't really know what his overall kind of goal
Oh,
is.
I don't think anybody really knows exactly what his goal is. Like
But
he's
so I feel like
just
that's going to make it more
yeah.
meaningful
hmm
because that's his struggle. It's not the struggle within himself. It's
Right.
his, it just, yeah, it's not that extra weight.
He's a super interesting character.
I
Like,
agree.
just any like his snarkiness mixed with the random things he says about himself and like his presumed past life experience,
Right.
and then all that combined with the mystery, right?
Right.
Really just sells him as a character. You're just like, oh man, this guy. Anytime he pops up, you want to like listen to everything he says as carefully as possible because like you never know when you're gonna get something new out of him
Yeah.
and what that could reveal. But him
Yeah.
narrating this book is so funny.
Oh my God.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it really is. I think, do I have,
do you
I
have some
hope that I can
quotes?
pull I hope I can pull my notes up. Am I still on the thing?
Yeah, yeah, you're there.
You can still see me. Okay.
Mhm,
Let me see. Because I'm filming with my phone. Let's
mhm.
see. I have so many quotes in this fucking thing. Where is it?
Just
Tress.
accidentally say a Red Rising quote. You're like, oh, that's not the right one.
So, um, did I not quote it? Oh, in here. Okay, I might have sent it to you. It was something about um talking to your uncle about sandwiches.
I don't even know if I remember that one.
Let me see. I
They're
know I
all like
text.
profound. There's nothing about this
Also,
stupid
Tress, how does
joke
your
that
uncle
he
feel
made.
about seagulls taking his jobs and or sandwiches? Because he was talking about like I guess because he's cursed in this book.
Right,
He's
yeah.
cursed by the sorceress, which we can probably get
His
into, especially because we talked about Elantris. Um, and so it
he
causes
he
him to kind of
lost
say silly things.
his six senses, right? But not
Yeah.
like his actual or his five senses, not six. Not his actual senses, right? Like his sense of fashion or his sense of, you know, like taste, but not his actual sense of taste, like sense
Yes,
of taste in things.
as he references because he talks about how he wears, I think, socks and sandals a lot, as
Yeah.
you can see
Yeah. Oh
in
yeah,
this.
there's him with the socks and the sandals.
Right. Um, he constantly quotes that. It's quite funny. But yeah, so he can't really, I guess, what's the word? He's aware of the stupid things he's saying, but he has no control over what he says and what he
Yeah.
does, based off of what the
Yeah.
sorceress kind of did. And so, in order to do it, he has to break the curse. He has to what? He has to, um, I guess, beat the sorceress at her own game, kind of thing, right?
I think to break the curse, all he has to do is get back to her. because
Oh
like
yeah,
she curses him and sends him off, right?
yeah.
And so the idea is like now he's a bumbling idiot. He will never be able to make his way across the sea of spores to get
Yes.
back to her. But I mean, it's Hoyd, so of course
So,
he does
but
some
it
way or
wasn't
another.
right. But it was thanks to good old Tress because
Yeah, it was thanks
again,
to Tress.
her boyfriend's kind of stuck by the sorceress too.
Yeah, her
Or
boyfriend
is
also got
he?
cursed. No, that was such a fun little twist.
Enough about Hoyd. We got to talk about the twists in this book. I think Brandon handles twists so well. I want to talk.
Oh, he
I do want to
does.
talk about that
Absolutely.
because I feel like what's so good about Brandon's twists, and we'll talk about this in a later episode because there are two more books that we need to record, and one also has some really good twists in it. The one I just finished. Um, but in terms of this one, what's so good is that I feel like the twists are so obvious and you can guess them, but he still makes it out like it's just you don't know,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then when it gets revealed, it's like it feels so much better because one, the twist is really effective, but two, if you guess it, it's not this annoying way where it's like it ruined the rest of the book because I
Mm-hmm.
knew.
Yeah, and if you guess it, you just kind of feel vindicated. You're like, oh yeah, that makes
Right.
sense. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's good.
So the fact that Charlie was the
Mm-hmm.
rat the whole time is so good, especially because of the slight change in terms of the name, which
Mm-hmm.
is so well done. In that it was what it was like he was trying to say Chuck, but it only
Yeah.
came out as Huck because it's still like it doesn't break. It still breaks
Mm-hmm.
the curse slightly, or like it
Yeah,
gets stuck in the
because
laws
he's
of the
trying to
curse.
like he's trying to say
Tell her.
Charlie and the curse. Yeah, the curse is like is really weird. There's
Mm-hmm.
no like definitive rules to the curse. It's like Chuck is too close to Charlie, so like we can't have him say
We
Chuck.
can't do
He's got
that
to say Huck. Yeah.
because I feel yeah it
So
would have been obvious,
yeah, because you
but
go Chuck really like Chuck
yeah.
Charlie like
But I that's like the one oh no, there's another twist in that the captain is secretly got like a
oh
deal
yeah.
with the spores. Yeah, so why don't we
hmm
talk about
She's like bound with the sports. Okay, okay,
why don't we
okay.
talk
we,
about the
we
spores? I think this is a
yeah
pretty
we can
unique
the
planet.
magic in general. The
Yeah,
spores are super cool.
I think that's a
Um,
cool thing.
mhm.
Especially because
The
it's
fact that
pirates, right? So the fact that the
yeah,
whole ocean is made of these spores and any liquid that gets on them, it like,
this book also kind of solidifies how Silver interacts with the magic in Brandon's universe as well,
yeah.
because we see Silver being used in this book to kill spores, right?
Hmm.
And we see like the way that kind of interacts with magic, right? So silver
Yeah.
can be used to kill spores, but eventually the spores will overwhelm the silver and like degrade it to
Yeah.
nothing, kind of thing. So like Brandon mentioned in an interview, they're like, was having spores like eventually degrade silver like a way to get around like because imagine if the spores didn't degrade the silver, right? And silver just killed spores no matter what.
Yeah,
What
that's kind
happens
of
if a boat
overpowered.
sinks in Tress? The spores just get destroyed until the ocean is gone, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like if a boat sinks, right? So now if a boat sinks in Tress, the spores will just overwhelm the silver on the ship,
Eventually.
and eventually it'll be gone. It'll be destroyed.
Okay.
But so now silver kind of, the role of silver in the Cosmere is kind of to destroy investiture, right?
Yes. Because
Like
there were no
silver destroys
silver.
investiture and investiture destroys silver,
Yeah.
and kind of like aluminum's role is to block investiture, like
But we
nullify it.
don't know if there's any silver mistings.
No, I
I
don't
doubt
think
it
we
would be
do.
because it blocks investiture.
Actually, he may have he might have talked about how
There's not an
silver
arrow
mistings
one,
aren't a thing. I think he said that they aren't.
but
Because
silver's
we
not
know
really used in
there
arrow
are
one.
aluminum mistings,
Right.
but
But
I don't.
aluminum
I think
doesn't
he may have.
break.
There's probably a wob. There's probably a wob where he's like silver mistings don't
Yeah.
exist.
Well, I
I
mean, it would
feel like
make sense that they don't
that's a
exist if
thing.
it breaks. It
Yeah,
actually breaks the investiture.
it like destroys it, right? Whereas
Yeah.
aluminum blocks it
Yeah.
and kind of like nullifies it.
Hmm.
So like imagine you are invested, right, somehow, right?
Hmm.
Like and then you're imagine you're silver misting and somehow you get invested with some kind of like poison or whatever in
Hmm.
just silver and then you burn it. It's going to destroy you,
Right.
right? Like
So
you'll destroy all the investiture in your body, but it's destructive, so it's going to kill you too.
yeah. So I guess that's true. Yeah. So,
Oh,
but it'll be interesting. I mean, I guess especially because when we'll talk about Shadows of Silence too, because silver kind of plays a part in that.
yeah, it does.
Um, if silver is going to be used in Mistborn later,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. Um, but yeah, so I mean, I think the power system is definitely interesting. Like the whole planet is
Mm-hmm.
interesting. There's definitely a lot of planets he's definitely throwing out there that I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily need another Tress though, like another book.
Mm-hmm.
I think it ends
Yeah,
in a
I
good
don't
enough
think I
way.
would. Like the fact that the world exists means that we can get stuff from that world without having to physically revisit it in another
Hmm.
book. And even
Yeah,
if like we were to revisit it, I like it could be in a totally other book, like a book that's not about
yeah,
Tress, right? Or that doesn't even take place on that world. But like
right.
now that we have the book, right? If we see any kind of spores or something, we're like, "Oh shit, that's from Tress," like that's cool kind of thing.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. All the
So
different kinds of spores are really cool as well.
okay.
Like
Yeah, yeah,
the
that's right.
like the
Because
vines and the
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 Crimson
midnight
ones were
essence. Yeah, the crimson ones are
yes.
cool.
Well, I'm very excited to talk about our next book after Midnight Essence,
Yeah,
just because I have my theories. But again,
every theories.
I
So
do have my
I
theories,
barely understand what I am caught up completely,
and
and
you don't even know.
I don't know what midnight essence is because so many people seem to know, and I don't. I think it's because it's from like Words of Brandon or from like the Midnight Essence book that he wrote that like never got published, right? Like,
Oh, there's like a whole book on it.
yeah, there's like a book, I think.
Oh,
Like, I don't know what it is,
oh,
man. It pops up here and there all throughout the
yeah,
Cosmere, and I'm just like, what is this shit? I just
right.
don't. I still don't know.
And that's what's so great because we
Yeah,
don't
no,
know
it's
things.
awesome, but like, yeah, I like that's why I haven't like sought out to really find out what it is because I don't want to know from Wobbs. I already know so much stuff from Wobbs, you know.
Right. I feel like you wouldn't know everything with the Wobbs though, even if you looked up everything.
No, you don't know. You don't know everything. Obviously, no. The
He's
people
got
that
so
talk about
much
Midnight,
crap ready to go.
right? Like I'm watching these videos where people are talking about like things, and it's like they have like an idea of what it's supposed to be because they've read yada yada prime or this unpublished work or that.
Mm,
But because it's unpublished or because it never got out there, right? It's like that's not canon, you know?
yeah,
Like that's not real until it gets into a published book.
yeah,
And even the stuff in those books just gives them an idea of what it is. And most
right,
of the videos are still people just being like, "So what is this?" Like it's a conversation about what it is or what it could be, right?
right.
So nobody knows. Nobody really knows.
But it came up again,
But it's cool. Yeah.
right?
It's
So
cool.
it's clearly something.
It's something.
Um, okay, why don't we should get back to Tress.
Cool magic system
Cool magic system. Who is your favorite character
besides Hoyd.
besides Hoyd? Obviously.
Tress. Yeah, it's Tress.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I think she's just such a good character. I think
I
her
think she is too.
reactions to things are really good. I like how she kind of works her way onto the ship, only for that ship to get attacked by pirates. And then
Mm-hmm.
she works her way onto the pirate ship, right?
Right.
She kind of deals her way. And then she's like, "Yeah, I'm the Spore Master, whatever they call it, right?" And then
Yeah.
she's
I
like in the
forgot.
room where the old Spore Master like died,
Yeah.
and she's like has to like work with all this shit. Like the way she works her way into those crazy situations was just so great to me. and
Hmm.
I think her reactions to those situations are just great as well
I think it's
because
relatable.
it's like a combination of like, oh Jesus Christ, like what am I doing? Like this is
Right.
absolutely insane. And like they talk about like, all right, enjoy this room. Like the last guy died in here because he like accidentally had a drop of
Blew
water hit
up.
a
Yeah.
spore, right? And she's like, oh, awesome.
Great.
Like yeah, great. Like
Yeah.
terrified, but then still goes ahead and messes with all of the spores
Yeah, she
without
definitely
knowing what she's
feels
doing.
she feels very relatable because again,
Yeah.
if you're in this position, it's just like and everybody's just like, yeah, this guy last time, this guy blew up because you're working with the spores and it's like the most dangerous freaking job ever, especially on a
Hmm.
ship.
Oh yeah.
Like you have the potential of just ending the
And
ship
how
anytime.
they talk about how like even the green like the vine spores, right? The way they interact, like a drop of water hits them, it's like a bolt of lightning, right?
Yeah,
So like yeah, like those vines can just
it's instant.
go through you. Like they
Right.
can just pierce you because it's
Yeah.
as fast as a bolt of lightning. It's like that's a pleasant way to go.
You're right. So, uh, yeah. So I do
Oh
think Tress is really cool. I think
honestly,
my
one of his
favorite
most effed up books. Sorry, go ahead.
is probably Ulam.
Ulam.
I think he's a silly little dude.
Ulam's a really funny character.
Would you like another ear? I can put it in a special place. Like I like the fact that every time she saw him, like he shows up,
Hmm.
he's got like another appendage. Because I
Yeah,
did ask Luke, I was like halfway through reading it, I'm like, okay, so this motherfucker's a Kandra, isn't he? Like,
yeah.
and it's like so obvious because of his silly
He
little
doesn't
like,
really try to hide the fact that he's a
uh-uh.
Kandra.
But I do like
Like
that he
you said, like
constantly,
the body parts.
yeah, I like that he constantly messes with Hoyd.
Yeah.
Like he probably could have helped Hoyd get the
Oh,
curse broken.
absolutely.
I mean, he just
But
doesn't.
Hoyd is such a like snarky asshole that nobody like wants to help him. And you know that Kandra knew like how powerful Hoyd is, right? So he's
Hmm.
like, he'll be fine. You know, like he's practically immortal. Like
Yeah.
what's like a decade of like being like this to Hoyd? Like not like he'll be fine.
Oh, right.
Like you know like he's probably just like yeah like it'd be funny to watch him like fumble around like an idiot for another like 10, 20 years maybe and then
Mm.
maybe I'll help him
Right.
because what is that like what's 10, 20 years to a Conjure and to Hoyd? It's like nothing,
Oh, I
right?
don't know. Because, I mean, again,
Right.
like, Tensoon is, like, none of the Kandra. All of the generations were still there by the end of the book
Yeah.
before everything kind of happened. Which makes
Mhm.
you wonder where and when does this take place? Was this before the end of Hero of Ages?
That's a good
But then
question.
again, I haven't read Era 2, so I don't know. So, who knows?
Who knows? I do.
I mean, I know you do.
Who knows though?
Who
I
knows?
do, but who knows?
Um, I love that Brandon in this book added in magical iPads.
Oh yeah, magical iPads are awesome.
He did add magical iPads. Fort has
Yeah.
the magical iPad to talk.
I like how this book just has more inclusion as well with a deaf character.
Yeah,
Um,
that was cool.
you know, that's something you don't see too often in his earlier books, and just
Hmm.
something that he's gotten way better about over the years. Just
Yeah,
including characters with disabilities, which is really cool
I yeah
because it just makes it just makes the universe feel more alive. You
yeah
know,
it makes it
and
more
then he gets
real.
to do cool
Do
stuff like
yeah
give deaf people magical iPads,
magical iPads
which is
right.
awesome.
Yeah, because when they get to the Enchantress's place, they also have like a trove of the magical iPads, and I believe they use magical FaceTime,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
quite funny. Um,
Hmm.
so in terms of the sorceress, did I call her? I called her the enchantress, like from Marvel.
Enchantress,
The sorceress
sorceress. Hmm.
is that the person from Mistborn Secret History? Is she? I think her name was Rin
I don't believe so.
because there's like a group in Mistborn Secret History that Kelsier kind of messes with.
Yeah, I know the group you're talking about. I don't remember any of the specific. I don't know if any of those characters get named though
Mm. Oh well,
in
that's
Secret
true.
History. you
I don't
know.
know.
So like I know they're like an offset
Hmm.
of the Elantrians. Like
Right.
that group in
Yes.
particular is some
Yes.
kind
Because
of
what
offshoot
she's
of the Elantrians.
yeah, because
I
she's
think
doing the
she's more of a
Aeons.
solo act though.
Okay.
Yeah, she's like a more she's an Elantrian, 1,000%.
Yeah.
How she
Well,
got
I mean,
there, what she's doing there, like that's all on her. Like she's like a solo
well, is she a solo, or
Elantrian,
did
just
she kind of
doing her own
mess
thing.
up
I
and she's
think
kind of stranded there?
she could be stranded there. She was trying to get off world, right, with her rocket.
Yes. So here, yeah, actually, in the same Hoyd picture, you can see they are using the Aeons,
Yeah,
which Hoyd got.
yeah. He made a
So,
deal with her
so now he knows
to
how to do that. Throw that with the now he has the possible powers of a Mistborn.
yeah.
Is
So
Hoyd a
yeah,
little Thanos-y trying to gather all the investigators?
yeah. Because in Secret History, you saw him get a bead of Lerasium to become
Hmm.
a full-blooded Mistborn, and then you also just saw him in Tress get the powers of an Elantrian.
Yes.
So
Hmm.
kind of
I
cool.
wonder what other books is he going
Kind
to.
of cool.
I just love Hoyd, you know.
Yeah, we can't go back to talking about Hoyd.
I know. Um,
Yeah.
but I think this one has a really good ending. I think it's simple. Now, I do think there are better Sanderlanches.
I agree. I think they're
Um,
better Sanderlanches. But this one was never really in
I
the
don't think it
position
needed
to
to have.
have a crazy Sanderlanche
Mm-mm.
because again, it's a different type of book. Like it's like a fun fantasy, like fairy tale esque book, like
Yeah.
it's going to have like a simpler ending, you know, with like a big twist in some like, she finds out how to lift the curse kind of thing,
Yeah.
not so much like all these pieces coming together. It's like all these small pieces coming together to
Hmm.
one like simple in
Yeah.
hindsight answer.
I think we said at the beginning, it's not a big Cosmere heavy book. There's
Yeah.
references with Ulam and Hoyd and the
And the launch
sorceress
rates, like if you've read
and the
all these books,
Elantrians.
then obviously you know these things when they pop up.
But if you
But to you,
were, yeah,
but like if you're a newbie, yeah, it's just like, oh, magic weird guy,
yeah.
magic sorceress, like that stuff you're just kind of going with
Hmm.
it.
So they need to make an animated series for this book.
Oh my gosh,
100%. I think it would be really cool.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I don't think I want like another thing from this world.
yeah.
I mean, I
I
don't.
definitely don't want a same thing from. I don't want something from the same characters for sure
At least, yeah, it feels like they
because
kind of got rounded
I
out.
love where Tress and Charlie leave off. Like I just
Yeah,
think it's a perfect ending. I like keeping things simple. You
yeah,
know, it makes it feel more fairy tale esque if you
I
just leave
agree.
it there. And then they lived happily ever after. He doesn't do that in
Yes.
a lot of books. Let's leave it
No,
like
he
that in this
doesn't.
one.
No,
Let's leave it like that. So
it probably was the happiest ending I think I've read so far.
yeah.
Everybody kind of had a happy ending, I guess, except for Charlie's dad. Boo,
Oh
boo,
boy.
freaking who?
Oh
I
my god.
guess.
Yeah. Like there's like a bunch of interviews too where people were like talking to Brandon. They're just like, why do you love giving people like the most fucked up dads like imaginable? Like Ellen's dad, Charlie's dad.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. I think he's like mentioned just like,
Oh, Rayoden's
you
dad
know,
too.
Rayoden's dad is horrible. Yeah. Like I
Vin's
think he just
dad.
mentioned like for like the time period that those take place, like that was just a common thing in families for like families to betray each other,
I guess.
like that, which
Yeah.
is like so weird to think about, but yeah. But yeah, Charlie's dad is effed up.
But there's some good dads.
Oh yeah,
And we'll get around to
like
talking to
Tress's
them
dad.
down the road. Yes, Tress's dad is nice.
Tress's dad.
Um,
She's like, yeah, I'll help you go save your, get on a ship to save your boyfriend. Like that's honestly like dad of the year. Helping his daughter stow away on a
yeah,
boat to save her boyfriend.
right.
That's
Yeah,
dad of the year.
I think it's like Tress's dad and one other dad that we will talk about in the next episode. That are kind of like dads of the year. But I think that's it. Like I think I don't know any other good
Yeah.
ones. Um, but yeah, I think Tress is a good one. I think if you're still here from the non-spoiler talk, why? But if you're trying to figure out where to start, this isn't a bad one to start with. I would say.
Yeah.
I take back my claim that it's not just because of the one line. Um, yeah, it's a good start. You should buy the super expensive version, Brandon. I'm helping you out here. Buy the expensive
Yeah.
version so you get this cool
It's so
cover and you get
pretty.
all the cool the cool art. Which one's my favorite art piece? Oh, I know which one it is.
Oh, now we're doing like a real book review. We're reviewing the physical
Rate.
book itself.
Yeah. We got to do that. I mean, for these, I mean, come on, they put so much effort into these. That's a cool one.
That's a good one with her
That's a
little
really
cup.
good one.
I like that one with her cup.
With the cup. It's
With the
so
cup.
lame that the cup is still sold out.
Ooh, this is a good one. The ship
I do like the one of Hoyd and the
being
Sorceress.
overtaken by vines.
I do like the one of Hoyd and the Sorceress
Hmm.
that I've shown multiple times. Where is it? I know there's one. Oh, frick.
Well, this one is very
That
Pirates of
one's
the Caribbean esque.
the captain, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Where is it? There's one with
I might find it before you even get to
you
it.
might. There's one
I'm
with
going through
like
all
the
of them
Midnight
here.
Essence like thing swimming in the water and she's like on the boat.
Oh, I don't know. Ooh, we didn't even talk about the dragon in this fucking book.
Oh, we didn't talk about
This
the
is the
dragon.
appearance of the first. This is the first appearance of a
Of
dragon
a
in the
dragon
Cosmere.
in the Cosmere, yeah.
The first physical
That's
appearance of a
crazy.
dragon. Yeah.
And it might be one of the only ones. This
That is
one.
one of the only dragons we know about in the Cosmere.
This one's my favorite. Right here. Because
Oh
her
yeah, that's
coat's
cool.
the only colored
Hmm.
thing. Look at that fucking thing. That's scary as
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even do it like 100% justice because like the way they
No,
describe
I'd go
it
swimming with it.
is like the whole ocean is just black. It's
Yeah.
just pitch black. And the ocean, the real ocean, is already
Is
scary.
scary enough. Yeah. Real ocean is scary enough. It already gets dark. But
So
you're
to
telling me
throw
the
it
water is
like from
pure
the get
black?
go, yeah, from the get go, it's straight up just
No
uh-uh.
thanks.
No, thank you.
No thanks.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
I don't
But
think I
yes,
will.
Tress good. If you want to start the Cosmere, start here. And then you can read it again after you read more Cosmere stuff and you could go, oh, I remember that. Um, yeah, I'd give it like a solid like 9 out of 10. It might even be a 10 out of 10 on the Cosmere
Yeah.
scale.
Oh, it's a
It's,
great book. I'd give it an easy 9 as well.
yeah, 100%.
I
So,
love it. It's just such a fun read.
yeah, it is a fun read. So, moving on. Now we can start talking a little bit more Cosmere stuff because these actually give a little bit more. Well, maybe not 100% because they still kind of are just their own thing. What do we want to talk about first? Do we want to talk about Shadows of Silence or do we want to talk about Six of Dusk?
I think we should talk about Shadows of Silence first
Okay.
because
You like Threnody a lot.
I like Threnody. Threnody is so
Is
cool.
awesome.
So Shadows of Silence is one of the short stories in Arcanum Unbounded,
Yes.
and it takes place on a planet called Threnody that is basically just hell. It is
I
horrible.
mean,
It's like take all of the forests from every horror movie
yeah.
that has a forest in it, put them
Mm-hmm.
all together, and that is Threnody, right? And
Yep.
then take out all the monsters, right? So you have just the creepy forest, and then put in shadow zombies, right? That'll kill you for doing certain things in
Because
that
it's
forest,
spilling
right?
blood.
So there's like three rules, right? It's like
Yeah.
don't run at night,
Yep.
don't light a fire,
Yep.
and don't shed blood, right? So you do any of those things, and like the shadow demons will, like their eyes will glow red, and they'll come straight for you.
Yeah.
Threnody is cool as hell.
And
Threnody
it's not
is
even like fully
mentioned.
explored in this freaking book,
Yeah,
like
it,
or in
it
the
has
story.
one short story about Threnody, right? And then there's
Right.
mentions of Threnody by people in the Cosmere from characters that are like, oh yeah, like Threnity's horrible. Like that's an
Right.
awful place. I would never go there. Like you got world hoppers all over the place, and every one of them are like, yeah, no, Threnody is the last place I ever want to go.
Yeah, I
Like
believe
I don't want to go to Threnody.
one of the main name ones is from Threnody. Naz is from Threnody.
Yeah, Naz
Wonder
is
why he
from
became a
Threnody.
world hopper. Probably to get the fuck
Yeah,
away from
to
his
get
home planet.
away from Threnody, anywhere is better than
It
Threnody.
is one.
Um,
It's
oh,
probably the most
and
fucked up
and
planet.
the evil forests aren't even the worst part of Threnody, right?
No,
Because
it's
they
like
used to live on the main continent,
yeah,
right? And then they had to leave because a thing called the evil, which that's subtle, Brandon.
right.
The evil took over the entire continent. So they had to
You
move to the evil forest to get
right.
away from that, whatever that is,
You know what? I think the
right?
reason why you like it so much, to any of the anime fans out there, it's kind of like the Hunter x Hunter world, but horror
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
because it's like the Dark
It's
Continent
like
and stuff.
it's like the Dark Continent stuff.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Um, but yes, because I know Brandon's mentioned there being a book that he wants to write called The Night Brigade. I think they mentioned the Night Brigade in the short story
Yeah,
once.
because I think the Night Brigade was the brigade that like sailed from the Dark Continent. I keep calling it
Hmm.
the Dark Continent now that you brought up Hunter x Hunter
The main
to
continent
the new
world,
island where they're at. Yeah.
One Piece. But yeah, I want to know.
Yeah, there's
I
just so
because like
much to
when you say
know about
something
the
like
book,
when you
about the
talk about
world.
like a world like this, where like it's totally like a horror inspired type of thing, right? And you're talking about like a continent with the evil. I'm thinking like fucking Cthulhu esque shit,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
creepy ass things. That's like, and again, you've told me
It's called the evil.
right. So you've told me that Brandon's willing to kind of have like a couple other authors kind of jump into the Cosmere.
Yeah. Well, Dan Wells is currently writing his own Cosmere series right now.
Right. Which, and I don't know, fingers crossed, because Dan Wells is a horror writer.
He is.
So it would be pretty cool if he wrote maybe a Night Brigade trilogy and not just the Night Brigade.
Maybe. I just don't. I think Brandon will probably write it because that's. I know that's been on Brandon's mind for a while,
Oh, okay.
right? Like, right? So I don't know if
Hmm.
he wants to give it. And Threnody might have bigger implications that we don't know about, right? Threnody is
Well, if
just
they keep mentioning it,
the weirdest planet and the weirdest system ever, right?
I think both of these short stories have weird ass systems.
Oh yeah. Well, the
But
thing
for
of
Threnody,
Threnody, yeah,
yeah.
Threnody is like super weird,
Hmm.
but Six of the Dusk isn't much better,
No.
right? Like
But okay,
it's
so
really
in
Six of
terms,
Dusk is more Dark Continent
yeah, I
esque.
guess you could say that. But so okay, so I thought Silence was actually pretty cool. Monster Hunter
Yeah, the main
vibes
character. Yes, Silence is such a cool main character in this book.
because she's
The way
older.
she's
She's like in her
introduced to,
40s too.
yeah, she's like a 40s mom, right?
Yeah.
And she's running this gig at this tavern.
Mm-hmm.
She's using that as a cover when she's really a bounty hunter, right? And she's like this famous bounty hunter. Nobody knows her true identity. And
Mm-hmm.
she's like collecting all these bounties and using this tavern as her cover kind of
Yeah.
thing to like, make a living. And it's
Right.
like, damn. Like, and the way she's introduced as she's just serving drinks, right? She's just the owner of this tavern. And these
Yeah.
two guys are talking about her without knowing that it's her.
Mm-hmm.
And, and then
Oh
she
yeah.
sees a mark in the tavern. Yeah, like it's such a
I
cool way
yeah.
to introduce her as a character. Like this would be such a good short film. It's insane, you know.
Probably.
Like oh
It
my
would be a
god,
really cool one.
yeah, like it would be so good.
I
She's
just
such a badass character
yeah,
too.
she is.
Like, man, what a good book
Yeah,
or
it's a
short
really
story.
good short. It's probably one of the best short stories. But yeah,
Yeah,
she's a really cool character. I don't know if I don't know. I don't know if she'll show up in Night Brigade whenever that comes out.
yeah. I don't know because I again, there's just so much about the history of Threnody we don't know.
don't really know.
So
Um, it's got to have some implications if Naz is from Trinity. You would think.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I thought it was really cool. I thought the cool like kind of twist at the end
Hmm.
with
Oh, and in this book, Silver also has a role where
yes, as we talked
it
about,
hurts the shades. That's what the
the
shadow
ghost
zombies are
zombies.
called. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're shades. And Silver is used to like hurt them. It like wards them off,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Um,
Classic monster trope.
but the Silver doesn't work super well. Like it can't kill them. It just hurts them, you know. And like
Yeah,
after like
but I
one or two slashes of Silver, like it already starts to degrade,
yeah,
which I
like the
just think that
spores were like
shows like
degrading it, but this
yeah,
like
but
knocks it
a
out.
lot, right? So like Spores very minimally invested.
Mm-hmm.
Shades, they got a lot more to them, you know.
Right.
They're wasting that Silver quickly.
Hmm.
So Shades are
Yeah,
just insane. Like we still don't know any way to deal with a shade.
and we
Like
don't
we
really
really
know.
don't.
Do we really don't know what they are either?
No, I mean we know that if a Threnodite dies by a shade, then
They
they will
become
turn
a
into
shade.
a shade,
Right.
right? So that's fucked. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's awful, right?
Yeah.
We don't even know if it's specifically a shade that does it, right? Like there could be other methods where you kill a Threnodite and they turn into a shade, and you know,
I mean, we don't
right?
have like talk about shades
Like
on
there
other
could be a
planets, which I don't think
right,
that would
right.
be it.
So I mean, there's how many Threnodites are on other planets,
Well,
right?
true.
So, but like, so we don't know, you know, like,
Yeah.
but imagine a Threnodite's off world and he gets killed by some kind of investiture,
Mm-hmm.
and that turns him into a shade, and now there's just a shade running around killing people on this random world,
And what
right?
if it
And
combos with
people,
other ones?
and there's no way to stop it, right?
Right.
Like,
Ooh.
because literally we know no way to stop a shade, right? There are crazy monsters all throughout the Cosmere, but we know ways to deal with them, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
we know there are ways to stop Khandra, and you know even beings as powerful as the Lord Ruler can be beaten. You know,
But silly little ghost zombies.
yeah, even Elantrians, right? It's like yeah, if you like cut their head off, then you know
Yeah.
they'll die. You know,
Right.
and Elantrians are super powerful, right? But it's like
Yeah.
no, a shade. I don't know any way to
Mm-mm.
deal with that thing. Like
It's got to have to do with something
you
with
can't
like
even run from it because it'll chase you if you run.
right. Well, it's got to have to probably do with something with the cognitive realm and stuff like that. Um.
Oh, man.
Hmm.
Oh, shades are crazy.
But yes, the Shadows of Silence was really good. I really want them to do Night Brigade. I just want like that's my like one
I
of my
want Night
most
Brigade. I
anticipated.
want it so much.
So bad. It would be
Yeah.
so cool. Um. So why don't we talk about Six of Dusk? I think Six of Dusk has at least one of my favorite magic systems in the Cosmere.
It's a super cool magic system.
It's a
Uh,
weird one.
yeah. Do you want
The
to talk about
birds.
it? Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess not the birds technically. Um, it's the
The
worms in
worms.
the fruit that the birds
Yeah.
eat, or just the worms
It's
that
like
the
a
birds eat.
whole like parasitic kind of
Yes,
like thing, and it's
but
all like all the magic comes from like the life, you know,
in the
like
world, yeah, on
the
the planet.
environment of the world, which is really cool.
But like,
Um,
it is the most fucked. I think, especially because like you even have like the picture with Six of Dusk, like just a constant like s- you know dusk kind of walking around, and it's just like yeah. So there's my dead body. I'm not going that way.
yeah.
Is so screwed up.
Right. So he's got two birds, right?
He does have two birds.
He has two birds, and the normal birds that hunters typically or trappers typically have on
Yeah.
that are birds that like shield their mind, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've heard people compare them to like a copper cloud, you know, like
Okay.
so one bird kind of acts like a copper cloud, protecting them from like hiding them from investiture
Mm-hmm.
around them, right? Like shielding his mind, protecting him from anything that would sense him,
Mm-hmm.
yada yada. And the other bird is giving him predictions of possible futures, which is like that's a crazy ass thing. That's like a some kind of ATM, you know, kind
Right.
of deal right there. You know, that's a powerful
Well,
thing to
so are the
have.
worms eating nutrients in the ground that might have traces of those metals in them?
So yeah, maybe, right? Or yeah, like
Step, step,
these
step.
worms. And then they also talk about how um raising the bird on different continents is what um changes the type of abilities they'll have.
Oh, yeah, well, probably because based off the different
Yeah. So
things that it
it's also
eats.
it's location based,
Yeah,
you know,
which
as
is
well.
cool. Yeah.
So
Well,
I
so
don't know, it's just a really cool system.
yeah, so I think it's a pretty cool planet. It's also very interesting because of the way
It's
that
an
the ending
effed
of it
up
is.
planet. They have stuff called death ants.
They do have
Death
death ants.
ants. They're like, oh yeah, don't step on that. That's a death ant hive. You get pricked by
Yeah,
one of those things and you
you're
die.
dead.
You're just
You're
dead.
dead.
It's like
You're
what?
done.
Like that's terrifying, right? Like having like a spider that can kill you in one bite, or like like something that can kill you in one, like a snake. Like
But an
that's one
ant?
thing, right? Because it's like one snake, right? But a swarm of things that can
Yeah.
kill you in one brick. Are you kidding me?
It's like the freaking Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull scene.
Yeah. Oh, and the
Um,
vines that come down and like snatch people and like paralyze them.
hmm.
Because he runs into the girl, the main
Yes.
girl of the short story, and he finds her stuck in like these vines that have paralyzed her.
Yeah.
It's like this place is so fucked. Not to
Fucked.
mention the book starts with him
Going on a
sailing to the
boat.
island, right? He's on a boat heading to the island, and there's something in the water chasing him,
Right,
right?
which gave me the vibes from that Tress scene.
Yeah.
Um, but probably way worse.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't want to know what that is. Like, I don't want to ever see that thing.
Mm-mm.
Oh my god.
I love that Brandon just really plays into the fact that the ocean is the scariest fucking place on the planet. On
Hmm.
our planet,
Yeah,
the real one.
and every other fictional planet too.
Yes, it
Because
is
I
the
mean,
scariest thing.
yeah, because I don't want to go into the oceans of Threnody or Six of Dusk.
Oh my god,
Like
yeah, what the
those.
fuck is in the
What's in
Threnody
the oceans
ones?
of Threnody? Talking about some. There's real Cthulhu shit down there.
That's why I want Night Brigade.
There's some real fish people type stuff going down in
Some
the.
creepy ass mermaid things, like,
Yeah.
ooh, mm-mm, no thank you.
Hmm.
I'm gonna be shivering in my boots reading a Night Brigade book. Anyway, back to Six of Dusk. I
Yeah.
do like Dusk a lot. I thought he was cool.
Dusk as a character is really cool. Um,
Um, I think
it's
the
good we're talking
naming
about this one now, right? Because
Isles of the Emberdark is supposed to be.
Isles of the Emberdark is continuing Dusk's story
Oh, is it? Okay, so
in
I didn't
that
know there
book.
was
Yeah.
Dusk. Okay,
Dusk will be one of the main characters of that book.
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool then.
So it's picking up where it left off, kind of.
Oh,
Yeah.
with the because
Yep.
it ends with like the rocket or whatever,
Yeah. I believe the
or
first
just the technology at least.
chapter or so might be the same. It might be the short story, right?
Oh,
But
okay,
the rest of the book will pick up. But there's another main character, right? So
but
it's
it's
going
not the
to
girl.
swap between Dusk and this other main character's point of view. No, it's
It's
not the
not the
girl.
girl. Okay,
No, the other main
interesting.
character is a. I'm not gonna tell you. Not gonna tell you.
But it's somebody I probably know.
No,
Oh,
no.
oh, interesting. But it picks up immediately after. Yes. So
Yeah,
one
picks
thing I
up
did
immediately
like
after,
about
which
Six
is
of
very
Dusk
cool.
is the way it ends is the fact that there is some group of people bringing some tech, and there's kind of like a why are they almost like forcing evolution on this planet?
Yeah.
Even though like it doesn't really seem like this like Neanderthal-esque planet, right? Like they
No,
seem
they're just like
advanced enough, but they're not
it.
like
It feels like early like 1500s like
mm,
tech, right? Like they are beginning to explore the planet. Like they have like
right.
things that can chart the stars and all that. Like they
But they don't have
are
speedboats
slowly
and
beginning.
crap.
Right, yeah.
But these people at the end have like they're
Like they have
clearly some
cannons,
world they have some world hoppers that showed up at the
Hmm.
end, and it's like they're trying to what? They're
Yeah.
trying to like
Well,
speed it up.
they like even Dusk talks about it at the end. He's like he's insinuating that they have rules where they cannot interfere on worlds until a certain level of tech on that world has been met, right?
Right.
And so Dusk is talking about it, right? He's like, we're not going to reach this level naturally. right? They're going to give us this tech, and we're going to be like kids given the keys to like this thing we don't know about.
Right.
Like we have no understanding of, right? So
Which is
instead of like
so,
instead of
it's so
slowly growing
interesting.
into it and learning about the wider world, right?
Hmm.
They're just going to be thrust all the information, and they're not going to know what to do with it or how to handle it, but it because they have it, it'll allow people to
Move up.
influence them from the outside.
I do really like that they did that, especially because of the way that kind of Mistborn is, where it's, the implication that uh, Scadrial would have been way more advanced in
Oh
Era
yeah.
1 if the Lord Ruler didn't exist.
Yeah.
Like, if he didn't
If he
do what
didn't
he did,
exist, yeah.
it would have been way more advanced.
Hmm.
And so, but it still doesn't feel like they're making up for lost time unless there is a group going around trying to advance them very quickly.
I don't know. Who?
Hmm.
I mean, again, Six of Dusk is supposed to be the most future Cosmere book we've ever received,
Isles
right?
of the
Or
Emberdark or Six of Dusk?
Isles of the Underdark and Six of Dusk. I mean, they take place in
Oh,
the
I
same,
guess, yeah,
right?
it's the same time. Yeah.
So it's the most future we've ever seen. The series,
Hmm.
the universe. So
That's interesting. Yeah,
who
I'm super
knows,
excited
right?
about
Like
Isles of the Emberdark.
those beings from beyond could be from anywhere.
Hmm.
Could be from
And
anywhere.
Secret Society. Oh, Brandon with his good old secret societies. Thank you for having that in there. Like, come on. Everybody loves a good secret society in their weird universes that try to do stuff. Brandon just like ticks off every box for like every like just big worlds, like big universes thing. We need a secret
Hmm.
society. We need pirates. We need knights.
It's so cool. Like every world feels so alive, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not like one world is one thing. Like Roshar is one continent, but made up of dozens of nations and
Yeah.
different peoples with
Hmm.
different goals. So it's like you have this one planet, but they're not all united,
Yeah.
right? And then even Scadrial, like you have all these different classes of people in this
Hmm.
world, and Six of Dusk, all these like the trappers and people of like normal society and like scientists, and it's like ugh, there's
I
just
just love
so
it.
many
It's great.
groups and
And he takes so much
subgroups,
inspiration
and
from
even
things.
Elantris, right? There's groups of Elantrians that have like completely moved off of Elantris and are like
Yeah.
their
I mean,
own subgroup,
because he takes so much
and the
inspiration
nations on
from
Elantris.
other cultures, like real life cultures.
Yeah, it just makes
Um,
it feel so alive,
it does. It's really cool. I
and I love a good fictional culture.
Oh yeah, it's just so good. Like I think it's little things like that that I think it makes it more real.
Hmm.
And again, I think where you can find like a connection with somebody with a character, right? It's
Yeah.
beyond just, oh, they look like me and stuff, like, which is cool and important, right? But you even
Hmm.
have like the feeling. Brandon tries to explore even like just beyond just like typical archetype, and that's why it's like with
Yeah.
like Tress, it's like her being relatable
Hmm.
because she's like anxious about this and stuff like that. Like she's that young, doesn't know what the fuck to do,
Hmm.
but she's like, you know what, I'm
But
gonna do it,
she's
and I'm
yeah,
gonna go for it.
because she's in love, right?
Maybe goes a little
And then like
crazy
yeah, yeah,
because like
yeah,
I wouldn't be like, yeah, I'm gonna take the most dangerous job. I could blow up any second,
right.
but you know, and I think it just makes all the like it just makes it so much more real because every character feels very
Yeah, and
distinct.
I feel like there's always one thing you can find to relate to a character as well,
Agreed.
right? Like even if like overall you're like I relate with most of the things in this character, like
Hmm.
like there's always one thing you can find with another character.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, I get that, man. I get that.
it's just so good. I love it.
Yeah, it is great.
Yeah. So
So, closing thoughts. What would
closing
you
thoughts.
Tress? You said 9, 10 out of 10,
I would say 9, 10 out of
right?
10. It's
How
even
would you rate
even
these short stories?
short stories. I think both of these are my favorite of the short stories because I don't really
Hmm.
count Emperor Soul and Secret History as short stories personally
No,
because they're novellas.
they're like yeah, they're novellas.
Um, and when I get the Edge Dancer, I don't think I would count them. So, but out of the short stories, But then, yeah, they're both really good, and I hope we explore more of those worlds. They're so
Mhm.
like they're such interesting worlds. Well, obviously we are with Isles of the Emberdark, so I'm very excited about Isles of the Emberdark. But
Mhm.
clearly, I gotta read everything.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for the podcast next year when we talk about it, I guess. But yes, I would say good 10 out of 10 short stories. This is like a 10 out of 10 roulette episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of tens.
So next episode,
What are we going to be talking about, Cullen?
what are
What are
we
we going to be
talking
talking
about in
about
the next
next
episode?
episode?
So we've been having headache inducing technical problems. I've been trying to get it to where we can do it in person. So the hope is this next episode will be in person. Don't hold your breath. Actually, the day we're recording this, I am getting some new tech in. But whether we record it over the computer or we record it in person, the next episode is going to be The Way of Kings. Big one. We're going to be doing Way of Kings next. And do we want to just say what the episode after is going to be?
Sure.
And then after, because I've already read that too, since we took so long to record Tress, we're also going to do
It did take a while.
Warbreaker after Way of Kings.
Warbreaker.
So we got 2 episodes coming up. They're going to be really good. I don't know when they're coming out, but we got to record those.
They'll be out.
They'll be out. The Way of Kings one is going to be good. I'm excited to talk about Way of Kings because
there's going to be a lot to talk about. That one will be more organized than this one was.
Yeah,
we find it easier to talk about
POVs.
Books with like POVs.
It just is.
It's just way easier. But Way of Kings will be even easier because that's also split into parts, right? So we'll talk about Way of Kings in the parts and the POVs, and then Warbreaker we'll talk about the POVs.
Yes.
Just because we're both a little ADHD and it's hard to get our thoughts together around books this big, because these books are big.
One day we'll find a way to organize the ones that don't have like parts or POVs. Yeah. Even the parts, it's kind of hard to like organize it,
Because you talk about one thing and then you think of something that happened 500 pages later and you want to talk about it immediately.
Yeah, I almost feel like we need to take notes on like the things that we want to talk about.
We promise Way of Kings will be more organized.
Yes, Way of Kings will be way more organized. That's the game plan. But yes, next episode, Way of Kings, and then Warbreaker after that.
2 comments, and Cullen will buy Elden Ring and play it while we talk about a book.
And if you guys want, pick the book for me to talk about while playing Way of Kings, playing
Elden Ring.
Jeez,
and he's not allowed to stop playing until
we're done.
Until the episode's complete.
It's gonna be like,
or until he beats the boss that he's stuck.
No, dude.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about the book completely, and it's gonna be like, but I'm still not even close to getting the boss done.
Remember, 2 comments.
I don't want to spend $60 on that freaking game.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I'm gonna get so mad playing it.
It's good. It's a good game.
Yeah, I understand that it's a good game, but like, I don't have the patience to play a game that
you've already committed. 2 comments.
2 comments. How about this?
That's right.
2 comments within the week of the upload.
Okay. Fine.
Let's do that.
Fine.
Call to action. 2 comments within the week of the upload. So you actually have to watch to the end of this freaking stream to know the rules, because we said something at the beginning, but we changed them. So yeah. So anyway.
All right, guys. Thanks
that
for
was
watching
Tress,
this episode. Yeah.
6th and Shadows of Silence. Thanks again for watching or listening or whatever.
Next is Way of Kings.
Next is Way of Kings. It's gonna be a good one.
I promise it'll be more work. And hopefully
one
in person,
day,
but we'll see.
Hopefully in person. We'll see. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Peace out, everybody.
Peace.